Dormeus, not Dormeus, like my Ohio ignorance thought it was. We're live. We're playing with the YouTube. What was it called, Gil? Get
YouTube
together,
live together or something like that.
live together. And Gil is, correct me if I'm wrong. I've watched your videos, and I am of the opinion that you're more video oriented than audio oriented, but it seems to be close.
It's close. I'm more video oriented than audio, but I like both.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
just watching one the other day, and it was or maybe it was today, and you were using a Shure uh shoe mounted device that you had an SM7B ran into, and I was like, that actually sounds really good.
Yeah, it saves me lots of time because before I would carry around a H4n Pro to capture the audio or a Rodecaster Pro, and that's
Yeah.
like a big clunky apparatus to carry around. So I figured, hey, if I can just get the XLR right into the camera, baked right in there, it kind of saves me a lot of time in post and saves my back because I don't want to carry a bunch of equipment.
No doubt. And
Yeah.
you do that. You seem to do a lot of on the road podcast video recording and among other things. I don't do a lot of that. I'm very minimalistic. I have this little Tascam DR10X. It's like a little plug-on recorder, and I usually have that in my carry bag and a microphone so I can just walk around and do all that. But yeah, you from your videos, it's like full pro is what I see.
Yeah, it's oh, thank you. Appreciate that. It's more yeah, super pro and it's just me. Nobody else. Everybody's just a prop in those
Yeah.
videos.
How'd you well, I'll explain a little bit. Like me and Gil, we connect on Twitter. Uh Thanks Elon Musk, I guess. I don't know. So we connect on Twitter, and it's what I love about this whole thing, which I'm not a big YouTuber, I'm a small YouTuber, but just the connections like that you can make. And I was just telling Gil, I'm from Ohio and I don't connect with a lot of people here. I don't have things in common with people. People don't quite understand why I'm into what I'm into. They just don't get it. Like, you like microphones? That's weird. That's just strange. Why do you like microphones? Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I held one and I was like, oh, why do I like this so much? But the cool thing about YouTube and creator content and all that stuff is like you just cross paths with people. And I don't even know how I started following you. I assume it was Tom Buck. Like, you popped up because Tom
Always.
commented on something, and I'm nosy, so I'm like, "What's Gil do?" And I see what Gil does, and I'm like, "I like Gil," so I hit follow, and it just kind of steamrolls from there. But uh, what started your content creation journey? I guess I'm curious because I want to know more about Gil than I do the video questions I have for later, assuming you've got a few minutes. But
Yeah, that's a great it's always Tom. Tom always seems to connect all the creators together. But
such a nice guy.
yeah, but for me, I think it's always just been I'm just a creative person. I like drawing, I like writing, comic books. I did a few animations back in the day, and for me and a lot of people, I think it's just church. Church is kind of like the catalyst for videographers or photographers. Here's a big building with a bunch of people, and we need to film it. We need to live stream it, and I had the opportunity to do that, and I just kind of left that scenario and just started doing photos for people. My first ever camera is a Nikon J1. It's a micro four thirds,
Little
300.
white one,
Yeah.
white square body. Yeah.
So white square body, and that was on my GoFundMe back in like 2000, like 7 or 8. I really wanted that camera. Then I walked into a thrift store and I found it with the body by itself, no lens, and it was like marked 300 but red. That means like discounted or something. So I walk up to the register. I was like, "What does this mean?" She's like, "Oh, it's $20." I was like, "There's no way. There's no way. There's like I promise." So I went ahead and bought it. I went to Amazon, bought the batteries, bought a lens, and I went back to the store to show the young lady, "Hey, this is it. It worked. It's just that you didn't understand that. Hey, this is just a camera body."
Yeah.
And from there, I started doing pictures with that tiny Michael Four Thirds. I don't know if the camera shows you how big I am, but I'm a big guy. And here's this tiny little camera. I'm doing bar mitzvahs, baby showers, cute little photo shoots. And there was at one point somebody said, "Hey, I can't really take you serious because you have this tiny little cute camera." you know, so I
Yeah.
got it jumped into the Nikon space. My first Nikon mirrored camera is the D3200. Got that, loved it. Jumped into the seminar game where I started filming seminars, and that kind of pushed me into video editing. I'm like, okay, I gotta stop using iMovie because iMovie's holding me back. I'm doing these 4 hour, 8 hour seminars, and then I jumped into full frame by getting my Nikon D750. And obviously, with the Nikon space, you don't really have unlimited recording. So my first Sony camera was a Sony A7S II, and I hated it. It was a gift, and I hated using it. It's just that it made my job easy. And then shortly after, I just went full Sony. And then I started doing YouTube videos and TikTok videos and Instagram, and now we're here.
Now we're here. That you brought that up. I'm curious because I'm like the place I slack the most is 100% video. I have the utmost respect for people that put the time into it because I'm just I don't know about you, but if I'm not fully interested in something, I know I will never be good at it. Like I've got to love something to actually know that I can go somewhere with it. And where I can't quite get myself into video, I don't do enough research either. Like one thing holding me back is what you were talking about a second ago, which is you can't shoot long form. I think you said with Nikon. With Sony, is there no time limit on some Sony mirrorless and because I really don't know.
So at the time, the Sony A7S II, it did have a time limit, but there was a hack. It was I just assumed you knew. That's the problem. Like I just assumed
No,
you knew. So
no, I am camera dumb, like literally camera dumb.
I hacked my Sony A7S II to enable me to record unlimitedly. So imagine I had three Nikon cameras, two D3200 crop sensor and one D750 full frame, and they have a 28-minute limit during the seminar. So I would press record on one, record on the other, and then as they go on in a chain, I can just spend the whole seminar running back and forth. Now here's one camera that can record unlimitedly, and that was the Sony A7S II. That saved me a hell of a lot of time, and that's why I invested in the multiple Sony cameras that I have. I have two Sony A7Cs. I have another one right here, and these are my babies. These are quite literally one of my favorite cameras simply because of the form factor. It's tiny, it's small, and it just works, and it records unlimitedly. And I think Tom Buck had a podcast recently where he talked about buying your camera and the purpose for your camera.
Yep.
And I always had that mentality where I have to do the research. What does this camera do? How can it help me film podcasts? What do I actually want to film? I want to film people talk for a seminar for 4 hours. What camera is going to overheat? What camera's not? Can I use a dummy battery? Can I use a USB power bank? And the Sony A7S II at the time, like 2016, 2015, took USB power banks. So that saved me tons of time and energy and stress. And that's just something I always thought about. So for me, when I buy cameras, how can this serve me? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's my interest level is high enough to where I do look into things a little bit. Do you ever watch Marcus Picks?
No, Marcus Picks.
Marcus Picks. I don't know. He's this like really eccentric blonde haired dude with this supermodel looking wife or girlfriend. I don't know. It's a crazy channel, Marcus Picks, but he talks about he is a camera fanatic.
Yeah.
And he's so much fun to watch. And he got me kind of into like I watch your stuff and I watch Tom when he does video stuff and Marcus Picks guy and the camera conspiracies guy. Like I watch all this.
Yeah, of course. That's my guy.
He's awesome. Like and he's hilarious and he's quirky and it's just enjoyable. But I watch all this. I can't tell you how many cameras I've bought. I have bought so many cameras. I've had a ZV-1. I had like what my dude Bronson at Audio Hotline sent me. He sent me like a Canon M50 maybe. I can't remember exactly, but I've had all these cameras. Samsung NX3000. I've had all these cameras and I sell them every time. And I'm recording all my videos with a Samsung S20 FE phone because it just produces something I'm happy with and I can still be dumb. But I want to get into it. I really do. I really want to learn and get into it. But every time I start, I'm like, F this, I can't. It just doesn't grasp me. Like watching other people perfect it, totally interested. Me trying to perfect it, I'm like, a ticked off kid that he didn't get Nikes before school one day. And I'm like, no, I'm not wearing those Jordache. I want my Nikes. So Nikes to me is like whatever I can point and shoot and it just works. And I really wish I was better at it because I watched some of you guys' videos and I'm like, God, that's so impressive. Just the quality and and I see these camera switches. And for me, camera switching would be like hopping up and pushing a button, sitting down, hopping up and pushing a button. And until you've almost convinced me to buy one of the Black Magic.
A10.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
It's
Very tempted, but I know I'll just sell it.
No, you sell it. Well, when you said something that made me realize that because when I got my first handful of cameras, getting the clients kind of forced me to learn. And sometimes when I'm doing a shoot, I'm actually getting paid to kind of get like a workout in. So it's like as I'm doing the shoot, I'm more so being a professional. Like I can get them the type of quality content that they want me to produce, but I'm taking the opportunity to be like, how can I take this a step further? Let me see this thing that Tony Northrup talked about. Let me check out this thing that Gerald Undone spoke about. 10-bit. What the hell is 10 bits? Why is it better? Wow, this is pretty cool. Why is 60 frames better here? How do I make slow-mo videos look super slow-mo versus jittery? And understanding 24 frames, understanding 60 frames. So then it's like, as I'm doing shoots, I'm getting reps in. And then I realized, hey, I don't have to get paid to use my camera. I can just use my camera anytime I want to. I can go out to a park or a beach and stand in there and be like, hey guys, I'm Guil. I'm gonna be better. And I started doing that, and people are like, dude, your quality's getting better. And it's just repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yeah. That must be my problem. Cause like even when my wife is, we go somewhere and she's like, take pictures. And I'm like, why can't I just enjoy the moment without pulling a camera out? I guess I do have some deep rooted issues for some reason that makes me biased against cameras, but I really don't want to be because I love watching you guys' stuff. And I'm like, I want to do that. I just can't get myself to do it.
You just have to do it. I mean, for me, I really love Nikon. I really love the color. So when I first got my Sony cameras, my mission was get the color, create a color profile that matches the Nikon. And then I realized that I really just like my Sony because it's very customizable. Like all these buttons in the back kind of have their own little thing that I programmed, and it's really cool for somebody to just pick up my camera and be like, that doesn't do that. This does this, and I set it up this way. Like my whole podcast production is one wide shot, one other shot, then here's like a rolling shot, and each camera has their own particular lens, focal length, and I understand where each camera is and why each camera is there. And it's like I said, repetition. Once you start doing it, you start becoming more familiar with it. So what's a YouTube channel you're watching now that you really love their style?
Oh man.
Besides me.
Besides Gil. I mean, I'm not saying this just because we're like buddies, but Bronson at Audio Hotline. I don't know if you've watched any of his stuff or not. He's very audio focused, but the dude loves video, and there's just something about his video production, especially for like a talking head video, that just to me is top notch. So him, I love the Marcus Picks guy. You got to check that guy out. He's a strange cat, man, but in such a good way. Like he's just such an interesting character, and he's not to paint a weird picture, but by looks, the dude lives in an absolute baller mansion. I mean, this place is like,
whoa. I've
it's
seen it before. I thought this guy was obnoxious.
I love him. He's strange. I mean, he's quirky and odd. And like the first couple times I watched him, I was like, I don't know if I can handle this stuff. And I kept watching him. I was like, okay, he's really endearing somehow because the dude obviously just is loaded, but he is so happy to shoot film with a Sony CX405 camcorder and just talk it up about. He's kind of a value guy, kind of I mean, he's got tons of equipment. I know he uses the best of the best, but he also enjoys using really random stuff to try to make cool recordings with. And he's interesting. He's like my spirit animal if I was going to be a camera guy, just because my whole thing is the obscure mics, the oddball mics, and stuff you could find for 10 or 20 bucks that would get the job done. So he appeals to me in that way because he's introduced me into I use a little camcorder, a Sony CX430, and I really like camcorders, so he speaks to me a little bit on that level. They may not look as good as the Sonys and stuff, but they don't, but they're just fun to use.
Yeah, I really like this guy. I've seen an old video of his, and I thought this guy is just over the top.
He
But
is
I
at
sus-
sometimes, yeah.
yeah, I subscribe. I'm trying to find the one that I watched a while ago, but I was like, yeah, this guy has the information. I think it was a C stand or tripod explanation or something like that. But yeah, uh, I feel like you have all the tools that you need. You just have to figure out which one works for you. And if it's camcorders, let's do it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I've yet to see especially Tom Buck's video where he did the camcorder. Did you watch that one? Like, why aren't camcorders more popular? Like, I could tell a pretty sizable difference in even the best video camera he was using versus his Sony,
yeah,
mirrorless. I was like, man, that's crazy. Because like you would think once you get up into that two, three, four, $5,000 range on a video camera, you would think the gap would start closing, but I haven't seen it.
yeah.
So it worries me a little bit. I'm like, do I just keep using my Sony CX430 that looks okay?
Mhm.
Or do I really want to spend a ton of money to get quality that's not as good as Guil or Tom or a lot of these guys using, Sonys and Nikons and all that?
So my whole thing is I just had a conversation today with a friend of mine, and we were going over Keith Lee. You ever heard of him?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge TikToker, and he uses like some generic Android phone. He just hit 10 million subscribers or followers on TikTok, and he's growing on YouTube. He has a deal with Chipotle and a bunch of other restaurants. He's just this guy who's a former boxer, and he shares his life story and he vlogs. Very Casey Neistat esque, but not the running around with the skateboard. He's just this guy with a story. He talks about his life and the chair of his like 2 year. His 2 year old has like some kid chair. He sits in the same corner and just records consistently, and he just provides value and story. And I learned a lot just by looking at his stuff. Like his content doesn't is not appealing. Like the quality is not appealing. It's all about story. It's really all about the story. And I'm pretty sure if you got a camcorder that was just regular run of the mill Godox or Young Nuo brand, you could make some dope content, but it's really all about the story and providing value. And that's one thing that I want to start doing. Like I really love filming. I could turn all my lights on in my Sony A7 IV with my lens on and then do nothing. And it has happened. So I have to kind of go back to the drawing board literally and say, what is the purpose of all this? What do I want to convey? These people that are watching, what is the purpose of them watching me? Like you clicked the video, you want something out of it. And what is it? I mean, you can be this guy, Marcus Picks, but look at all Marcus Picks videos. They're filled with value. Like he tells you what he's going to be talking about in the video, and he just films it with whatever he has.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And see, now you're pushing me in the other direction. Now I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'll just keep using my phones and my camcorder because it's more about the content I want to create and what I want to say and what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, I'm still jealous of you and Tom and everybody else that's producing these, high quality H2O videos.
High quality is chill. And even for me, like we could talk after the live and later on the week, like my whole workflow, I like to simplify it because I used to have a bunch of different stuff, wires everywhere. Now I have the K3M XLR adapter on top of my camera. It fits on all of my Sony cameras. So if I want to vlog with this is stuck in the office, I can just pop it on here and I can use my Shure SM7B. You connect two microphones onto it. Well, two microphones in like one 3.5 millimeter jack. You want to add like soft music in the background. And it's fan diddly tastic. It saves me a lot of time. And that's my whole purpose, like with my workflow, like to simplify things. Like like the smallest thing. Like this is an Anchor battery bank. Like this thing charges my phone. It's a 20-watt charger. It charges it really fast, and it has a plug-in. So I like to simplify. So right now my phone is connected to this right here. It also charges
So
my Mac.
power bank with the adapter to plug into the wall.
Also, I have
That's the crap I'm into. That's probably why I watch your channel.
Also, I have a Velcro strap that's attached to my tripod, like the opposite side, and I can charge my Sony A7C while I'm using it. For me, it's all about just the modularity and just convenience. But the thing is, I was only able to come up with those solutions by doing, by just working and
Yeah.
trying mistakes and buying a bunch of cameras and making my wife really, really mad.
I gotta hand it to mine. She's somewhat supportive. Like she's cool with it, but I do keep. I've got my separate bank account, my obscure Mike's bank account, my obscure Mike's credit card, and that's none of the money that comes from our 9 to 5s pay for any of that stuff. So I guess that keeps her off my back. But before I forget, I do see the comments, and thanks to everybody that's watching. Uh, Stop what you're doing. And if you're into video at all, go subscribe to Guil's channel. Guil will direct you there in just a second. Because audio and video, they go hand in hand. So if you're here for the audio, Guil does audio stuff too. Like I'm really interested in that Sony device. So and that leads me to a question. The what was that called again, Guil? What's the model number?
It's the K3M.
Okay. That thing is one of the first on camera like microphone systems that actually make me want to save up a little money and get. In your opinion, because I hear a lot of conflicting stuff on this, and I want to shout out Kettner Creative. I don't know if you watch Kettner Creative or not, but that guy helped me out. Like I get curious and I go down these rabbit holes. Like how much does a camera's mic jack degrade the audio quality? And I start thinking about things like that K3M, and I'm like, that's when I was like, the SM7B sounds perfectly fine on it. And I mean, that is running into your camera jack, right? So,
No,
like in your opinion,
hot
okay,
shoe. It runs into the hot shoe, not the
multi-interface or whatever.
Yeah, it runs right up top there. So it's
Okay,
a digital signal more so than the analog. Yeah. So runs right up top. So no wires at all.
gotcha. Now I'm wondering because my CX430 has that multi-interface shoe. So would that work the same way with that K3M? You think?
The K3M is only Sony.
Well, I mean, the camcorder I'm talking about is a Sony.
I
And
think
it's
so.
got the multi-interface shoe or the hot shoe or whatever. So I wonder if that would work for that.
It probably would work. I'll look into it first though. But yeah. And that K3M adapter, like I said, it works with all the Sonys and I love it. Just saves me a lot of time.
Yeah. And that's me too. I try to bake in. I don't love recording the audio separate and clapping 3 times or doing, it works. And and it doesn't really take that much longer, honestly. But if you're, I don't know, I guess if you're not video editor savvy and you don't splice everything together and like, oh, I accidentally spliced the audio and not the video. Now I've got myself jacked up and you got back buttons and stuff. But I still like to just bake everything in and just have it all as one track. So I totally get that from you with the K3M. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. Everything's ran into my phone. The reason I use that Samsung S20 FE is because I can run an interface directly into it. No mic jack needed, just the USB-C port. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see cameras with a USB-C port and a USB-C in.
I want to see cameras with internal storage. I want
That too, yeah.
I want cameras that have internal storage and with an operating system. That's like my goal. The Hasselblad came out with one, but I would love to see like I want to say a bigger manufacturer or more common man's manufacturer like Nikon or Sony to come out with something like that because that Hasselblad is like $10,000, I think.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah.
I stuttered real bad on the K3M. I was like, "Ooh, Gil's got me wanting this. Let me pull it up." And I was like, "No, no, no!" And it's not that much, but
Yeah,
it is.
it's not much, but it's consistently that price, even on Black Friday. Like I just was like, it's gonna drop. Nope, it's just staying right there.
How many devices like that have you used? Like, have you bought other? Because I've got an on-camera Comica device right now that like takes a 9-volt battery and you run your, and I
I have
don't like it, but
the red one, or the is like it's like a
it's
weird.
gray.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I had it, and it just was clunky. It didn't add any other convenience to it. The thing I like about the K3M adapter is that it has a microphone on there, so I can
Yeah,
actually use it as a shotgun mic to vlog or capture some like audio outside.
pretty good quality on that.
Yeah, really good quality. Like it's really good. Yeah. So
It's yeah, and that's one of those things too. Like I love audio, but I've not found very many good on-camera shotgun mics. Like they're okay,
mhm.
but the difference, to me, it's like if you're not close, vlogging's different. Vlogging, I would think those little shotgun mics work really well. See, I've got what Bronson always sends me stuff. I've got a Deity V4 Pro. I
Yep.
think I haven't used it much, and it sounds pretty good, but it definitely sounds better when you're closer.
Yeah, I haven't used any DD products. Like this is the Rode Video Mic NTG. Like this is like the first, I would say, professional shotgun mic I ever bought. Like I've bought several other shotgun mics, like the Task, it's called Takscar 5 SG
Yeah,
Star SG 598. So
yeah, I think that's it because a lot of people say that one's really underrated and good for the money. And
it's really good. I've shot short films with it. I've shot actual commercials. I did an interview with Rick Ross with it. Like it's fantastic.
now, how
And
do you get that stuff going? That's what I want to know. How the heck do you interview Rick Ross? Well, how'd that happen? You don't have to go into full detail, but like I was getting ready to ask earlier about how many of your clients are repeat customers, how many are one-offs.
oh, so the Rick Ross one was a photo shoot with a photographer friend of mine. So I was an assistant on this shoot. So we drove to Atlanta, and it was at Holyfield's old mansion, that massive estate. And we did the photo shoot, and I became kind of really cool with the guy, I guess the manager, the content manager, the one who's in charge of all the photos and videos. And I just was referencing like, well, we're on break. Hey, I do podcasts, I do audio stuff, I do all the other cool stuff. He's like, awesome. For the beard oil that we're promoting for this ad for this photo shoot, we had issues with the audio. Would it be possible for you to record a podcast? Like not a podcast, but an ad for Rick Ross? And I was like, sure. And I recorded it right then and there. And that radio ad was on the radio, it was on the website, it was everywhere. And I edited it on my MacBook Air. That's just
Nice.
so for me, like I've always noticed that you have to create the potentiality for those type of opportunities. Like you just staying in a room and my buddy said, hey, just take the picture and I tell you to take the picture. Okay, boss, picture taken. But if
Yeah.
I go there and it's like, so Rick Ross, man, I have a podcast, that stuff. Hey, I have a beard and I get free oil and I get a bunch of other gigs. And Rick Ross had another venture where he was selling like I think it's like hemp or CBD cigarettes. And because I was in that content creator's manager's mind, hey Gil, would you be able to take some product photography for us? This is like 3 years later, and it's because I put myself in that situation where I'm selling myself more than just, hey, I'm just going to do the picture. It's going to be great. Sure. But you're more than who you are. Like, you do a lot more than talk about mics. Like you're a father, you're a husband. Like there's more to you than these microphones. And one thing that I was talking to one of my clients about today during the consultation was getting out of the realm of like your niche. Like it's really cool to talk about mics. It's really cool to talk about lighting, but I really love anime. I love anime. I love,
Yeah.
and I love being married. I love my wife. And it's just so weird sometimes where those things kind of push you to be the type of person you are on camera. Quite literally, anime, I'm Haitian American, born from Haiti. That forged me to be the person that I am today. But yet we don't talk about it because we talk about mics. And it's just, we're more than just our hobbies, if that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Gil?
33.
33. Okay. Because I feel like most people I know between the age of 25 and 35, anime is a big part. I think I missed that. Like I'm 41, and I think anime was just right after my time. It was around, but
Yeah.
it wasn't popular with, the guys and people I hung out with. It was more like, Kevin Smith films and Quentin Tarantino films. And then it kind of switched over to, just different stuff. And this is a totally random topic, but I was really intrigued the other day, and I'm kind of excited. Supposed to go watch Creed 3 this weekend. And I was reading the other day that Michael B. Jordan, who directed it, all the fight scenes were inspired by anime. And I was like, that's going to be different. Like I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, they're all inspired by his favorite anime, which is Naruto, which
Yep.
is one of my childhood favorite animes and manga, and it's great.
Yeah.
but but the thing is, I want to say like these are like anime aside, like I love country music, I love podcasts, I love rap, I love hip hop. Those mediums just kind of help you become the person who you are. And
Yeah. Music's huge for me. I mean, it's massive, massive. I don't
oh,
really, there's probably not an hour in the day that passes by the music, it's just got to be on. It's on for me all day at work. It's on, which my dad's a musician, so I'm sure that's part of it. But
yeah.
if there wasn't music, I don't know who I would be. And I don't even play music. I've got guitars, but I'm terrible. I treat them like I treat cameras. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put it up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like it's full circle. Like your father being a musician has some hand in play into why you're obsessed with mics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's my thing. Like him and my brother, they're skilled musicians, multi-instrument musicians. And I'm pretty confident that I could be if I was interested enough in it. But, the instrument of choice for me has become these. So,
Yeah. I get that. Like even for me, like my dad was super into computers. He was a writer. He writes. He's into music, and he's like, "Oh, Gil, I'm gonna send you to like vocational school while you're in middle school, so you can learn how to use a computer." I'm like, "Cool." And ever since then, I just had a high aptitude for computers. I can just get in any situation. And we had a small business where my dad had a carpet cleaning business, but he also provided computer services. So if you went to a home or a property or a hospital, hey, you guys need help with like networking? Like my son does all that crap. And it's just that type of thing where I wouldn't probably be here if my dad wasn't the type of person that said, I think you like computers. I'm like, I do. All right, here, I'm gonna teach you, send you to school, and so you can learn how to use computers. Who knows what'll happen? And the next thing you know, the internet and content and photography and all this other cool stuff. So it's amazing.
what's your is that your main income? Is your the stuff you do with video work?
No, it's I'm a forklift mechanic, but
I knew that. I knew
yeah,
that from something you had posted. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I work on forklifts. I fix DC diesel trucks. I work on that, and I do that full time. And it's super rewarding just working with your hands. And I've made a podcast about this, about my creative process, how doing something outside of content creation kind of helps me be a better content creator because it's just I'm outside of that, and I end up coming up with amazing ideas. And
That's how I knew, because that's what I heard. And that was like an episode you recorded like a month or so ago, I think. Month to 2 months ago. I think I listened to that one, and you were talking about
yeah,
how the two intertwine.
yeah. Yeah, it's great. I've been with this company for about like 13 years, so it's pretty good. Yeah,
See, I wish I could be like that. Like my job's okay. I'm a collections and director of collections and recovery at a credit union, and it's not rewarding. I mean, it's fine. Like it pays the bills, make a good salary, got a pension. It's good, but I am not a career person. Like I want to do this, and I
yeah,
don't want to do anything else. I want to do what I love, and anything else is just kind of off the table. Like, of course, I have to do it because I have a family, and but I don't want to. I do not want to work for anyone else but me, and that's the detriment of this journey as a content creator. Is it's completely overtaken everything else that I thought I liked even a little bit, all
let
the
me
way down to fantasy football. I played it for 20 years. I got into this. I quit playing fantasy football. I don't have time for it anymore.
Let me tell you, keep that and stay away from clients. I hate working with clients.
No
I
problem there, because the older I get, the more get off my lawn I get, and I can't handle people very much. I can handle all these people that I've met through this because of the common thread, but like I told you before we hopped on this, the Ohio thing, like I just don't have a lot of people around here I relate to, so no problem there. I probably won't have clients anytime soon.
because they kind of like steal the content creation joy. Like I really love learning about mics and lights and using them in different type of ways. And they see that because hey, I want my videos to look like that. I want you to promote my business and services. And it's people are pretty bad sometimes. So and
Yeah.
it kind of steal that joy away from you of creating, and it becomes like you're in your office that you set this is your domain and you're creating something that you don't like.
I'm laughing because some of the comments you were just saying people or something like most of the people, I will hand it to them. I've gotten really lucky, and I want to know your experience too with people that comment like bad experiences, good experiences. Some dude, I reviewed this Depu Shang mic, and I'm sorry that I haven't been responding to comments. I really wanted to talk to Gil tonight, but this dude said, "Bro, plug that MF and dynamic Depu." I don't even know what he said, but it was just freaking funny, just to read it. Like, plug that MF and Depu Shang, MF and Mofo something. Like, no, I'm not gonna plug that junky mic. It was fine, but what's your experience with people on YouTube? Like commenters, have you gotten crappy comments?
I,
Has
like
it mostly been positive?
I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I do have a lot of negative comments. And it's like I
Yeah.
have to delete them, and it's a lot of the times it's like, hey, you said this wrong, or you have a speech impediment,
Oh yeah, come on.
sounds so stupid. Or I had one video where I spoke about how I missed the wedding shot. I did, but I didn't. So I bought this flash off of Amazon, and it was the same day delivery. I needed it right away. Did the wedding, and the minute I hit flat to shoot, it didn't trigger. So I kind of finangled my way. Come on, everybody, let's get one more kiss, and then I got the kiss, but I missed the initial kiss. So I made a video about it, and this person on YouTube said, because I vlogged the whole thing. Wow, some photographer, how do you miss that? Or something like that. And then it was, wow, what type of photographer buys a $20 flash? And then I'm like explaining, no, the flash that I got is like $400 and ended up breaking the day before. And I was like in a bind. And it's just, my wife was like, you don't have to explain anything to these people. They don't matter.
Yeah,
It's it's annoying.
it is. Serotonin, I know you were playing. I just thought it was funny. And the Dipshing mic was okay. But yeah, it's like we decide to put ourselves out there and make content, and all of a sudden we're supposed to be perfect at
Yeah.
it. Like apparently that's the thing. Like, but really it's an open platform. Anybody out there commenting on how we mess up, like you are so free
Yeah.
to log into your Google account, make a video, upload it, show us how it's done. Like, you're free to do it. Nobody paid us to come on here and start this. We wanted to try it. We wanted to do it. Maybe it took hold. So it always blows me away when people will take the time to write out some big negative paragraph or take the time to even write anything at all if they didn't enjoy it rather than move on. It still blows my mind to this day that people do that. Like, oh, I hate this. I'm gonna like,
You know
why?
Warfield?
What is it?
Terry Warfield, YouTuber.
No, that one I'm not familiar with.
Tweeted something a while ago, and he took a screenshot of a comment, and the person said, hey, you have a mistake here at 1 minute and XYZ seconds. And it was he screenshot a bunch of other negative comments, and he's like, it's crazy that you guys are complaining about something that I'm doing for free. Like, I'm filming this, like, and you're coming to watch it. Like, don't critique me. Like, it is what it is. It's not that big
Yeah.
of a deal.
That's the wonderment of the internet. Everybody gets their opinion and their keyboard warrior moment and all that. So it's fine. A lot of the times the comments give me, they can be funny sometimes. Like if
Um,
somebody's skilled at being a troll, which what's up, Liberty dude? You're not a troll at all. But I mean, it's some people are really skilled trolls. I've got a buddy of mine who is absolutely an online troll, and he does it because it makes him happy, and I get it. And I'm like, dude, somebody's gonna kick your ass so bad one day. Like somebody's gonna destroy you, and you'll deserve it. You know.
You ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
Guil, started doing a podcast, not about How I Met Your Mother, but I started recording in my car, and I rigged up a microphone to my old crap handle, and I've got a little interface on my dash, and the wires ran, and a phone mounted. I record myself talking about stuff on my way to and from work. It's my new therapy session, and I kid you not, the episode I released yesterday, I was gushing about Jason Segel and this new show called Shrinking on Apple TV. And I'm only 2 episodes in, but I am so addicted already. And How I Met Your Mother is one of my favorites of all time. I adore that show.
So in the Bro Code, Barney Stinson's Bro Code, he talked about the cycle of screaming.
Yep.
So for me, that's something as an adult I think about. Like, yeah, this dude's leaving a comment because he's probably got shouted at somewhere. I don't really feel too bad for him anymore. But good show. Like anybody,
man,
it's such a great show. Shot super well. Question as a creator, do you watch shows and kind of look at them content creator wise, like the lighting, the audio? Do you look for mistakes? Do you look for keying and all that?
I do on shows that have them more often. Like if it's my wife's really big into like the HGTV, like the home shows, like, oh, I want this home. It's 3 million. I make 13 an hour at Dunkin' Donuts, that whole thing. And so those shows, yes, like because there is a lot of mess ups. You will see a shotgun mic in the picture, and you will get bad audio here and there. So those, yeah, I do. More so, I like watching content, and my wife can't stand this, but like if we're watching a movie and somebody is in a radio station, and she'll look at me waiting, and I'll be like, RE20. I'll just start reeling off the mics that they are. So I more so look for gear that I love more than mistakes and lighting. Lighting, I definitely don't look for because I'm terrible at video. But yeah, a little bit, and it's getting a little bit worse the more time goes by doing this whole YouTube thing. But no, not the professional productions. I don't get too nitpicky about those.
Yeah, I don't get too nitpicky, but if a shot is, because I've shot short films, so if a character is walking in one direction, the next frame it's something else. I go, hey babe, look at that, and she's like, what? And I'm like, rewind it, and she would be like, oh my gosh, how'd you caught that? And my wife does do the whole, hey babe, what is fresh air? I was like, it's an NPR podcast with Terry Gross. Oh, okay. And it's just like, hey babe, what's this NPR joke? And I'm like, it's wait, wait, don't tell me. Then it'll be something like I'm a big NPR guy, and anytime she's watching a show and they'll reference that, or they'll have something like content creator, whether there's a camera, it'll be like Nikon, and it'll be the lens cap will be on. There's something obscure, and she'll say, "Can you tell me what's wrong with here? Is this a mic? Is this something that they'll be using? Do we own this upstairs?" And I'll go upstairs. Yeah, we have one of those. It's a Shure microphone. Yeah, so I do that. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to recognize things like that because we may not. Well, you shoot some short films. I don't do anything like that. But from me watching guys like you and watching the Tom Bucks of the world, I just like saying Tom Buck a lot.
Yo, flowers, man. Tom Buck is freaking amazing.
He is, man. I'm going to tell you something too, and I am very ashamed of this, but I talk about it anyways. Me and my buddy that do a podcast, we took something that Tom said, and we kind of thought it was a jerkish remark. We were very wrong, but I talked a little bit of crap about Tom, just about something that I thought was terrible, and I was so wrong.
Whoa!
And I'm really glad that I'm glad I was a butthole, because getting to know that guy has been like the ray of sunshine that I needed to remind me, like, hey, you're not always as good of a person as you think you are. When somebody can show you kindness, even when you've been kind of a jerk, that kind of thing. So I try with those trolls on these channels, not not to take it too personally, because some people, sadly, some people are just very unhappy. So when they're talking crap about you, it's like, man, they got to be unhappy. Like, I wonder if I could just, maybe I could befriend them. There's this dude that was a very angry guy that was doing microphone videos. What is it?
I said Tom is in the house now.
Tom's in the hizzy. But there's this angry guy, and I tried so hard to befriend him, and he just kept being real rude to me, and I was like, man, I got to get through to this guy. Like, I got to break through to him, and maybe I can bring him some happiness. It didn't work, but if we're not here to show kindness, I'm not really sure what we're here to do. So
yeah,
I say that after I talk about me being a dick, but
yeah, that's my whole thing. Like, I'm all about what's the purpose here? Like, I can't hold grudges. Like, it's physically impossible for me to hold grudges, because I tell my wife all the time, like, what's the purpose of me carrying this baggage? Like, I'm not sure if you play like RPGs, like video games.
I used Secret of Mana. I don't know if you go back that far, Super Nintendo. But I used to, but I really fell out of video games like early 30s.
But it's like your care, everything that you have on you can help you progress to the next stage, the next level. You carrying a grudge from level 1 can't help you get to level 26. You have to like let it go.
Hi, Tom. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you do, because I mean that, I don't know, man. Negativity it's not to be all inspirational speaking here, but you hold on to that crap and you're just never going to be fully happy. And I just don't think I don't think people think about their happiness quite enough. Like, they don't really sit down and think, like, what the heck makes me happy? What can I do to make myself happier? What do I got to let go of to make myself happier?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough balance, and it's a dangerous one when you go on YouTube, because you got to get the thick skin going on, which luckily I have. Like, very little bothers me. I do a reaction channel, like the whole music reaction thing. Oh my God, you want to talk about some terrible comments? Like, yeah, I'm either diabetic at one time, like, dude looks like he ate 7 hot dogs before he came on. People are just brutal.
No, but what do you do to like stay happy then? Like,
oh, me?
Yeah.
God. Honestly, being blunt makes me very happy. Like, giving people a little dose of truth sometimes, but that also goes both ways. Like, giving myself a dose of truth, like when I am a dick or when I do mess up, like owning it, learning from it, but what makes me happy is, this is so cliche, but my family, for one, and not settling. Like, not settling makes me happy. Like, I've had jobs where I made 6 figures, and I hated my life when I was in those jobs. And one day, like, I was probably almost mid-30s. I used to be a people pleaser, and I thought that was happiness, like making everyone happy. Thought that was happiness, but it's not. So yeah, getting new mics makes me happy as well, Liberty dude. But yeah, like, when I decided not to be a people pleaser, like, eventually you have to be a little selfish and actually give a shit about yourself and actually do stuff for yourself while still being kind to people. But at some point you got to take control of your life and not live it for everybody else. So that's what makes me happy, is like the fact that I can make 6 figures and be like, you know what, this is completely detrimental to my life, and do what I did in 2018. And I left that job for well below half of what I was making, which was a very normal average paying job in this area. And even though I didn't have very much money, I was just thrilled that I finally did something for me, and was like, money doesn't matter, possessions doesn't matter, except for microphones. None of that stuff really matters. And I was like, what the heck makes me happy? And it's everything but money and possessions. Like, I drive a little Hyundai Accent. It's a 2010. It's on its last legs. The fact that I don't have a car payment makes me happy. And the fact that, I don't care if someone's like, dude, why are you driving that piece of crap? Because I don't have a car payment, and that makes me happy. I don't care about perception and how I look, and I care a little bit about how I look.
You look great. You look great.
Thanks. Well, I mean, I don't go to the store in pajama pants is what I mean by that. Like, I refuse to do that. But I want to at least look presentable. But what I drive, my home, all that stuff, like none of that makes me happy. And I thought that's just like most Americans. I thought that was happiness up until, about 5 years ago. What makes you happy, Gil?
You mean you said it first, family. For me, it's just me, my wife, and my dog Lola. And we're
Animals make me happy.
Yeah, Lola's the best. My wife is the best. We've been married for May would be 12 years. May would be 12 years. Together 14. So she makes me really happy. One of the
Thank you,
best
Liberty.
So one of the best things that I learned early on was getting a bunch of clients, getting a bunch of gear, getting a bunch of tech, being all over the place. And I realized you're dealing with a lot of unhappy people who see you for your happiness. And not that they're envious outwardly, but they're just more like so putting you in toxic and stressful situations because they want your happiness in a way. So I realized that just, you know what? Remove yourself from that and just do the things that you want to do. And I'm just going to announce it. I really want to step away from doing client work, man. It's super unnecessarily stressful for no reason.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And I think that goes back to like, sometimes it can sound super crappy, but people do not make me happy because
Yeah.
so many people are unhappy, and it's really hard to surround yourself with those folks. And it's tough. Like there's a big difference between me doing a microphone review for, I'll shout out Ceramonic, Ceramonic and CAD for that matter. Like those people to work with is amazing. They are cool. They are just inviting and have conversations through email. It's not just about what can you do for me and I'll send you this. And then there's other companies that have reached out that are just complete opposite. And it just reminds me all the time, like even in this line of work, like there's still potential for someone to bring me down. And I just have to be careful about
You know,
that.
I have to share a story about microphones and contacting the manufacturer. So I had an issue with
Oh, you
my
got a camera tattoo.
oh yeah, I got a kid.
Gil is for real. Tom Buckle like that one.
But I had an issue with my Samson Q9U microphone.
I have an issue with it too, and it's that I don't like it.
So I actually like it, but the thing is, it stopped working. I contacted Samsung, social media, contacted their company line, couldn't reach anybody. It really sucked. I was pretty mad and sad. But what ended up happening was when I had issues with my Rodecaster Pro 2, Rode was like on the ball. Hey, Gil,
Oh man, yeah.
like I had an issue with the Rodecaster. Oh, sorry, not the Rodecaster, the Rode Wireless Go, the white one, the first edition. Right away, replaced everything clean and good. And Samsung never got back to me. Neither the social
Ooh.
nobody. But I mean, it's working now. It's now working magically for some reason. They probably came to my house and fixed it before I woke up or something like that.
I'll tell you a secret. Samsung's one of the companies I don't like working with.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're okay. They're just the communication's not there. It's real cut and dry. And I appreciate everything. When I say don't like, it's like just less pleasant. But it's I'm big on communication. Like if you are going to reach out to me, like me and you, like talking through Twitter, hey, let's try out this YouTube live thing. You know what I mean? And that conversation wasn't just what can Gil do for me? What can I do for Gil? It was like, let's make a human connection here. Let's do something together.
Yeah.
We're into some of the same stuff. Let's get to know each other through, experimenting with this whole YouTube live together thing. And that's what it all boils down to for me. And it's like folks on here today, like Tom and Liberty Dude and Serotonin talking about the Depusheng mic, like just those little connections. Like it needs to be more than just what can you do for me? What can I do for you? Like, the art of conversation is just lost. And that's why meeting you on Twitter and doing this is just like, yeah, I want to know this guy more, and people that reciprocate that back that's gold to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't sell this. This is just human connection, like Florida and Ohio.
Yeah. And it's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. Do you see these comments?
Yeah, I'm seeing them pop up.
Oh,
No,
good.
really likes the. Can't wish I could like comment back though.
I was about to say, like, let's do that. Let's open up like questions for Guil, because where it's on my channel, I imagine some of these you're not going to get your video questions answered through me, folks. I film everything with a cell phone, for God's sakes. So, but yeah, Know Your Joe said the camera ink is great, which I agree. Maybe I need a microphone tattoo. I've got like, I'm a big fan of the band Tool, so I've got a lot of like Tool style, weird, trippy art tattoos. Maybe I need a microphone.
And why is it 10,000 days? I'm sorry, Mike.
Wait. What? Start again. I think when I talk, it cuts you off just a little bit. Start that over. Why do I like what? And then from there.
Why do you like Tool? What's your favorite Tool song? And why is it Vicarious?
Vicarious, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Tool is just proggy. I like the effort put into long productions. I like the 13-minute songs. I like the jam sessions. I like the odd time signatures. I like polyrhythmic drums, tribal beats. I like all that stuff. Lateralis is my favorite song and album of all time. But I have tailed off with them. That's more of a like, Jeremy from age 13 to 40. I'm kind of past that a little bit. I'm kind of got into different stuff lately, more metal, heavier stuff, but then also, softer, like a lot of softer music too. I don't like country. You said country earlier. Got to admit, right on the spot, can't do it. Old country and like Sturgill Simpson, like kind of intricate and strange country. I can dig that, but like most of the modern stuff, I can't really get into.
All right. I got some questions here. Tom, I'm still a Nikon shooter because that's the camera I started with, but I have literally 5 Sony cameras and like maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Tool isn't Neil Diamond. No, they're not.
Does anyone know about a Nikon that has 1080p clean out? The D750, D750 or D850. Uh, the autofocus isn't the best though. Um, Joe, I'd say that the Nikon D750.
Is there a camera, Gil, that has a better mic? You may not know this. Is there a camera that has like that's notoriously known for having good mic preamps?
The Panasonic.
Like the Lumix series?
Yeah, the Lumix series. Yeah. So they just dropped a new camera too, and I'm so
I saw that on Sweetwater the other day.
because they cost less than my Sony A7Cs, and they're quite literally better in a way. Because, but then again, it's like to get a camera like that, I have to get the new lenses, get a new dummy batteries, and a whole suite of things. Versus, I have a bunch of Sony stuff already, so it doesn't really make any sense for me to just jump into a new ecosystem. That's the hard part. Buying a camera and then doing away with your lenses, adapters, K3M adapters, because they don't work with the other cameras.
Do you see the Sony and Canon? Are they still the autofocus leaders? I want to know the answer to that one too.
I mean, I really like my Sony A7 IV. I got to play around with the A7S III. That's really fantastic. I haven't really messed with any Canon cameras, so I can't speak on it. I just know that from my gradual growth with Sony, which started with the A7S II to a A7 III to now a A7 IV, it's leagues better. It's way better than my Nikons. I'll tell you that.
I know the people that are watching and commenting, like if they're into audio or not, but how many of you, like, raise of hands of people watching, like who out there is into video nearly as much as audio or more than audio? Like, I'm curious because I just can't seem to get myself going, and I want to. Camera game is a whopping. Been chasing the perfect camera for a long, long time. Isn't that what the camera conspiracy guy's doing?
Yeah.
All he wants is the perfect camera.
Yeah. I love
That
that.
guy's crazy.
Yeah.
He's very enjoyable.
You know, the funny thing, I found him while I was on TikTok for like vegan stuff. He has a big vegan channel.
Did
Camera.
not know that.
Yeah, he has a
I
massive.
watch anything he does because I like he could talk about anything and I probably watch it.
He's really good. The thing I love about him is it's that he kind of breaks down the science and like create crazy, creepy terms that I understand. Not even layman. He just speaks my language, and it just makes sense to me. So,
Yeah, he definitely, and that's the thing. I feel like if I watch enough of you guys, I'll learn enough to the point to where I make the transition into it. I feel you, Liberty, dude. I'm too ugly for video too. Maybe that's why I don't even want to be in 1080p. I'm trying to roll 480p out there. But yeah, I feel like if I keep watching, maybe I'll eventually, maybe it'll click. Maybe something will click, and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready
you,
to dive back into this video thing again.
you know, for a very long time, I had what do you call that? The picture screen. Like my wife was like, "You need to put your face on your videos." I'm like, "No, no." And I finally did it, and I got a horrible comments.
Because of course,
Yeah, but eventually I got just used to it, and it is what it is. It's practice.
yeah. I think there's some misconception out there with like the whole algorithm thing. Like you got to put your face in the thumbnail. I don't think you do. I think Tom's doing okay without doing too many face thumbnails. Like he mixes it up, but you know, maybe he would dispute that. I don't know. I think there's got to be an underlying passion for video because yeah, I agree with that, and I don't think I have that passion, but for some reason I want it. It's not. It's 100% okay to not be into it, and yeah, I'm comfortable not being into it. I guess I feel like if I'm ever going to take another like step towards success on YouTube, I guess I feel like maybe that's what's lacking. Maybe I'm wrong. Cause like you said earlier, there's a lot of folks that are just shooting video with whatever and they're killing it. But I don't know. I guess I just get jealous when I see really good video quality and then I look at mine and I'm like, why the hell does any company contact and want me to do a mic video?
You
Is
know,
it must be that's what she said jokes. That's all I can figure.
no, for me, I get the opposite. I'm just like, wow, this person has no lighting, no camera quality, no mic etiquette, no camera etiquette, and then they have massive engagement. Why? And then I realized it's all about story, and it's all about their purpose and what they're trying to put out there, like we spoke about earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I think that's where I'll probably sleep on this and wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm done worrying about my video. Gil, who's a video guy, convinced me to quit worrying about my video.
Yeah, it's totally fine, man. It's fine.
Yeah. Content is always king. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe that's the truth, Liberty dude. That must be the truth.
I'm gonna start
I don't
saying.
want to what is it?
I'm gonna start saying content is queen because I like the Queen band. It's dope.
Like the band Queen,
Yeah, the band Queen. I'm happy.
best front man of all time.
Yeah,
Bar none. Not even close to my book. Freddie Mercury, best front man that ever lived.
really.
Yeah.
What's your favorite rocks song?
Favorite rock song? That's tough, man. That's too tough. There's too many. Like favorite pure rock band, I'm a massive Foo Fighters fan, so I guess I'll say anything by them. But
For me, is Everlong.
is that what?
Yeah,
Your favorite rock song?
I really love Everlong. I will listen
No,
to that.
no, I'm cool with it. I'm just surprised because I just said I'm like the massive Foo Fighters fan, and then you say your favorite rock song is Everlong.
Yeah, it's a hand toss between Everlong, Pearl Jam Black. You ever listen to that?
Oh my god, that's my wife's favorite song of all time. Gil, we were meant to talk tonight. Seriously, man.
Yeah,
Oh god, the unplugged version of Black where he's writing on his arm. That's a moment.
I love that song. Then I mean, there's so much music out there that I just love. There's a guy named Patrick O'Hearn. He does like electrical, like bass music. It's freaking awesome. If
Yeah.
anybody ever looked him up, he's amazing.
I've got an appreciation for just about any kind of music out there. Again, country's difficult for me.
So the country I love is John Party.
Right? Oh,
John,
okay.
he's a younger guy, so he's kind of new, and he does storytelling. He's like, to me, it's It's hip hop, old school hip hop storytelling, and he has a song called "Old Hat." How it's one of those things you just have to check it out. John Party, Old Hat, go check it out. I like it. It's
I
fan-
will, because I do like storytellers, and there is exceptions like Chris Stapleton. I think that guy is one of the best voices out there right now. I don't know much of his music, but
yeah,
when he sings, I feel it.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say John Prine when you were talking about John Party. And John Prine, shout out to my Appalachian brother that was on here earlier from Kentucky. I didn't know I liked John Prine until the other day watching his YouTube radio DJ channel, but I like old country like Johnny Cash and stuff like that. I do love hip hop. I've got a massive love for the Beastie Boys and Jurassic 5. Uh, God, Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple is one of my favorite artists of all time.
Yeah.
That's I think that speaks to, just how great music can be, even if it doesn't fall in one certain wheelhouse. But
Yeah, no,
what's Tom Buck's favorite music?
was that
I said, what's Tom Buck's favorite music?
uh
We all know. I was just asking to see if you knew.
Aquabats, but
Nailed it.
yeah,
Nailed it.
yeah. But I'm trying to remember the name of the genre.
Ska.
Ska music.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was big into that when I was growing up. Went to a lot of ska concerts.
I didn't know what it was until he was talking about it on the podcast. And I was like, oh, but then again, I live in Florida, so
Oh my God. He said he saw him for the 23rd time a few weeks ago.
that's insane. But
That's
dope.
a lot. Have
Yeah.
you seen Pearl Jam live since you love Black so much?
No, I haven't. I
Ah,
have. Believe
I
it or
have
not,
once.
to a concert.
What?
I've only been to storytelling concerts like the Moth or like a TED Talk. Though
Yeah.
I've been to a music concert because, to be honest, maybe 15 years ago I just got into music. Yeah, so I never really listened to music growing up. That's a different podcast. It's just that my
Man,
yeah,
you've got to get yourself to a concert.
yeah.
That's
I, hmm,
some of the best memories I've got, just period, are concerts.
yeah, like one concert that I would really love to go to is who was it? Not Green Day. Well, at the time, My Chemical Romance was in Miami. I had an opportunity to go, didn't get a chance to go, and then Foo Fighters was in my neighborhood playing, and I just didn't get a chance to go. I've been to comedy stand-ups. I've been to Moth Radio Hour. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I've been to Moth a couple times. So I've been to like stuff like that. But as far as like listening to my favorite artists and listening to them in live, never.
man, Foo Fighters is a good show. Um, yeah, My Chemical Romance would be a great show. I was
Yeah,
big into them,
I
when they were at their height.
they're. I love Ghost of You. Just what's it? Nah, 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 nah. Love that song from that last album. It's freaking
Yeah,
amazing. I don't know. Music is great. It's fantastic.
it is. It is. Did you just not have access to it
Not
before?
it was more religious reasons. Like
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was just more so like I was super heavy into into a cult in my childhood. So it was just one of those things where it's like,
I
oh,
understand.
huh?
I understand.
Yeah, it was just more of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay away from this. And then I realized as an adult, yeah, none of this matters.
Yeah.
Matters
I
to matters to a degree, but it's all about you as a person.
Yes. I grew up in an apostolic church, and just for context, they like to run around the church screaming and stuff, and very excitable crowd. And that stuff had a hold of me for a minute as a young boy. Like when I did discover Tool, which ended up being my favorite band, their album Undertow, which is just one of the evilest sounding things I think you can listen to. It just sounds like evil, even though it's not. I went through probably 8 cassettes because I'd be listening to it and then I'd be like, not today, Satan. And I'd break my tape in half. And it took me a long time to be like, technically you can listen to a band that's outwardly satanic,
Yeah,
and you don't have to consider yourself to be any less, what's the word I'm looking for? Like faithful, I guess, just because of the entertainment you choose. It's not, I don't buy into the fact that like I'm going to get possessed by a metal band. I can still have my faith and rock out with those guys.
What's the name of the band? Zero. I forget the name. I can't think of it right now. The song goes, "Emptiness is loneliness, and loneliness is cleansiness."
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes,
Yeah.
I could have said the name. I remember pulling up like as when I became older, like listening to the music, like this is evil.
Yeah. That's how I felt as a kid. I'm like, I can't listen to this. Like, even though it sounds good, I can't do this. This is bad. My church tells me this is bad.
The church tells me this is bad. I've got to stop doing it. But
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons why I grew up not playing video games, is because I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. Let's just say that, and that is pretty much Seventh-day Adventist. Go to church on Friday, Saturday. You don't work on Fridays and Saturdays. You just do nothing but the work. And
Yeah.
it was tough. I wouldn't say that it robs somebody of their childhood. It's just that it kind of makes you realize that a lot of these stuff don't really matter. Unconsciously
Yeah.
turn a lot of these kids into nihilists, which is pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm very outspoken on organized religion these days. I'm not a fan of it. Just for me, I'm not an organized religion fan. Like I just think so much stuff is misconstrued. Like people act like you can't have faith and be,
Yeah.
a believer in a higher entity if you don't participate in an organized gathering. It's hard to accept. And I had a turning point. I wore when I did hit my rebellious stage, I wore a Marilyn Manson shirt to Sunday school.
Really?
Yeah, and I was very quickly kicked out of that building and told I will not wear that there. And it didn't have anything bad on it. It's just him, And I did do it as a test. But after that, like that was it. I have not been back to church since, except for the occasional Easter, because my wife's really good friend wants us to go on Easter all the time. And it's not anything like, hatred or nothing like that. It's just like, that's just not the place for me. I feel much more comfortable having those conversations in my car or at night, or, worshiping with other people is not really a thing. I'm not a very good practicer of that either. So nobody get the wrong idea and think Mark's some holy person. I am not. I am not at all. But I do have faith, and I try to be a good person.
But
I try.
you mentioned podcasting in your car. That's something that I used to do a lot back in the day. I would just get in my car with my HTC Hero and just record audio. How do you said, what's that whole system you have now? You said you have like it plugged into something?
Yeah, I've got mostly because it was cheap, but I've got like an old cheap T-Mobile phone plugged into a cable that runs into my front glass, and it's nice and hidden and tucked away, and it runs to a little TC Helicon Go, little tiny like iRig style interface, and then that's running an XLR cord up to my visor, and that's all tucked and hidden away. So then I open my visor and take my XLR cord, plug it into my little Camvate, I think, little clamp. Does that ring a bell? There's like a little twisty clamp that clamps on. You can put it on like a boom pole or whatever, and it's got a 5/8 threading on it. So I've got a shock mount and a handheld microphone just hanging in front of my face. So it's just a nice little system, and I'll just record while I'm driving and just record my thoughts. It's free therapy to me.
Yeah, I have my Rode N2G1 sometimes connected to like my visor. I use these little clips, and I have like a ultra long USB-C cable to my iPad or my laptop, and I
Yep.
just record right there. And it just, those thoughts don't go anywhere. They just, hey, I just want to record my thoughts. I log on to my Google account sometimes and just see hour-long conversations of like, that guy was kind of stupid, you know?
I definitely feel kind of stupid when I listen back to some of the stuff I record. Cause I'm like, my God, like I hopped in my car the other day, and I don't know if you know this or not, but It's from like the very beginning of viral videos on the internet. But I got in my car. Don't feel bad if you don't know it, because I hope you don't know it. But I got in and I just had this random thought. I was getting in my car and I was like trying to think of what I like the most between two mics, and the phrase "I like the most" got stuck in my head. So I got in my car, I hit record, and as soon as I started recording, I just looked at the camera and I was like, you know what I like the most? Cake farts.
Cake farts. I don't.
I'm glad you don't know. Trust me. I'm waiting for a comment down below. Somebody's going to know, because somebody did know on the video. They responded. It's gross. I'm not going to go into it, but we'll just say a girl farted into a cake. That's it. And it was a viral video. And yeah, it just randomly popped into my head. And I say stupid stuff like that all the time. And rather than keep it to myself, I'm like, you know what? Somebody will get enjoyment out of me just uttering the phrase cake farts.
Yeah.
I'll post it. I'll put it on YouTube. Let's see how the algorithm handles that one.
See how they'll go.
I don't want to keep you all night, man. You, whenever you're ready, you do what you need to do. This has definitely been fun. You can talk about whatever you want. We can stay a little while longer. You can go. Just know that I don't expect you to hang around if you got stuff to do.
Oh no, I'm good. Just have to, probably. What time is it now? Oh yeah,
10:26.
yeah. I have to get going.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for time to just fly by. I actually need to record this mic because a guy named Mike Freddy, thank you, Mike, sent this over for me to test out. This is the first time I've talked into it. So I'm going to do this video, I guess, after we get off here and have something to release in a couple days.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Let me know when the next time you want to do this.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime I'm sitting up here doing nothing, always fun to chat. This is how those connections start. This is how I've made friends with people I actually care to talk to. Instead of here in Ohio where I'm trying to avoid everybody. Thanks, Tom. Tom says awesome stream. When Tom Buck says awesome stream, it's because of Guil.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, he's like, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, man. It was awesome to meet you in person rather than just being just a Twitter contact. So very cool. Now when I watch your videos, I'll be like, yeah, I remember when I talked to Guil about that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna send you a couple of videos of that XLR adapter too.
Yes, please do.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me, man. I'll see you later. Thanks for everybody that watched. Appreciate it highly. Ending the live stream, and I'm gonna go to church. I need to go repent.